Hey everyone, Mystic here coming at you with another video. Today I wanted to share the results of my mapping shootout. To break it down for you, essentially what we did is we had a 4-tower setup for each 10 maps. In one set of 10 maps, we had quantity tablets and rarity waystones. On the other 10 maps and quad tower setup, we had quantity tablets and pack size waystones. And I wanted to shoot the two out to see which one would get us more currency in the end. And that's basically what we're going to go over here today. So let's go ahead. Let's jump into it here. Another caveat real quick. So when I did run these maps, I made sure that they were at least 40% quantity or above. So they all had to be 40, 50, 60, however much quantity we could get onto the map as the base before all of our Atlas skill tree stuff went into effect and everything like that. They had to be at least 40% sitting. Most of them with the Atlas buffs and everything like that, we actually had quite a few that were over 100% quantity and 200, 300% rarity or 200, 300% pack size. So it was a really good comparison. They were both really neck and neck. So I feel really good about these results. But let's go ahead. Let's jump into it here real quick. This is the results of the quantity tablets and the pack size waystones. Now this isn't everything that fell in the maps. Basically what I did is I took the raw currencies that fell and put them in here. And there were some other things that also fell in the map, but I wanted to keep this as clean as possible. So I just kept the exalts, basically the raw currencies as they were, and then some of the bigger items that fell in there. Everything else was sold off prior to, and then calculated into these items as well when I broke them out to see how much they were worth. So what you're looking at is basically the raw currencies, what we purchased out of the rituals and what we got in the expeditions. I don't think I mentioned that, but basically we ran ritual expeditions on both sides as well. But when you're looking at it, I mean, we had really good exalt drops. We only had a single divine and the chaoses were kind of low. I was really expecting more out of the pack size. I expected there to be more rares, so we would get better loot drops. But we just didn't get it. Where this really shines, if you are running rituals, you absolutely want to be running pack size. There were multiple times that I just didn't have enough items to buy inside of the ritual because I basically bought everything out and I still had what's it called? I still had some of my tribute left. So you definitely, if you're gonna run rituals, you want to be running quantity pack size for sure. I was probably getting on average, I would say 6,000 to 7,000 tribute. Sometimes I was getting as high as like 10 to 11,000 tribute in some of these maps. It was insane. So if you're running rituals, this is absolutely the way you want to go. You want pack size to get the maximum amount of tribute you can get. Like I said, this isn't everything that was bought out of the rituals. There were other things that we bought that we just sold off. And like I said, I calculated that into these items here as well. So when we go over to the quantity rarity waystones, we actually didn't get as many exalt drops as we did on the pack size, and I think that has to do with just there's more rares that were showing up in our maps than there was here. But I mean, it could have been a lot of different things, obviously. But we did get a much bigger variety of items to fall. For instance, we got more greater exalts, we got more chaoses, we got annulments, we got more divines to drop, and we also got a greater jeweler's orb to fall. Another thing to note, this did fall as well in the quantity rarity setup. Now, the reason I put this in here is because these typically, if you hit them right, can sell for many divines. So I wanted to make sure that I put this in here so you could see it. I think this is an excellent thing to fall in the map, and it's something I wanted to document because this did not fall in the quantity or the quantity pack size maps. This only fell in the quantity rarity map. But that's a very big item to fall. And I believe it fell off of a Rogue Exile. That's where I got it from. And my previous one that I got as well came off of a Rogue Exile as well. The last one I had sold for 8 div, I believe. So I wanted to make sure that this was in here for you guys to see. Not only did we get, better, excuse me, I think better drops all around. We also got a very sought after item as well. We also got an Abyssal Echoes, which we did not get on this side. There really wasn't a whole lot that came out of the quantity pack size for the Abyss stuff that we ran. It looks like I did have, so I didn't separate that out. I wanted to make sure that I was like, wait a minute, I'm pretty sure we ended up getting some items. So we did end up getting some vertebraes, but again, not as much as we did in the quantity rarity. As well, we also got many more expedition logbooks in this setup. We actually ended up getting 7. We only ran 10 maps. We got 7 expedition logbooks. And this definitely is a big win. These sell really well. They sell really fast, and it's a good way for you to make currency. So when we look at it, how does this all break down, right? What are the totals that we got for everything? And I have that right here for you. So essentially in the quantity pack size, we ended up with a total of 1,251 exalts for all 10 maps that we ran. On the quantity rarity maps, we ended up with 1,989 exalts. So you can see that there is a much higher probability of getting currency in our quantity rarity setup. I'm still pretty happy with the quantity pack size. I think it still did really well. And again, if you are running rituals, that is absolutely the way you want to go. You are going to be able to buy out that ritual more times than you are in a quantity rarity setup. I never once bought the quantity rarity out, but I did multiple times on the quantity pack size just because we could, right? There were some times that I got to like my 3rd reroll and I still had 7,000 tribute left. That also allowed me to buy a lot of gear out of those rituals as well. Now, gear is not included in this. I didn't want to include the gear in on this. I just wanted to see what the currencies were, the items that we bought and we had fall into the maps, what that ended up being. Obviously, if you add in the gear, I think maybe quantity pack size can start catching up pretty quickly just because of all the gear that we could buy out of the rituals. Now, of course, there was plenty of gear that fell out of the quantity rarity setup that could also do very well. But again, I didn't want to include gear falling in the maps on this at all. I wanted to keep that completely separate. I just wanted it to be what was the raw currencies that fell, what did we get, and what did we sell it for. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think, and let me know if you have any questions about exactly how I did this. I do have a mapping video out for you that shows you exactly how I was setting up my maps. That is exactly what I did during this setup. I followed the exact same steps. But, if you guys have any questions, or if you want to see something similar to this, or you're like, hey, how does this mapping work? What kind of currencies are you making out of this mapping setup? Just let me know. I'd love to put videos together for you so we can break that down. I love this kind of stuff. I like kind of the analysis of breaking it down and looking at the individual numbers. It's really fun to me. But anyways, guys, I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you showing me support, and we'll see you out there later.